Welcome back to Bromley Wonders, and we have a new friend since KA, who's still around, but he's going to leave us. So now this one's turned up. We'll test run it today, but yeah, KA is going to go bye-bye, and we'll get some service tokens for this, I guess, because there's a couple of things that need doing. I already bought oil the other day for the KA, which is 5W30, which is perfect for this. So I'm going to bash some of that in, and it was good quality stuff. I don't have a filter for this yet, but it seems like it's one of those really easy, stick it in the top of the engine jobs with a little cap. So I'll buy one of those today, because we're going to the Festival of Transport at Malvern, and there's a bit of an auto jumble there, so fingers crossed we can buy all the extra bits I need for this today. Fuel filter we need doing, because there's absolutely no fuel in this, and it was dropped here on a trailer. It did start up though, so that's good. It needs taxing to get on the road, because it was delivered on the 30th, well, it's going to be the 30th of August, and then I pushed it to the 31st, because in England, if you pay for your tax monthly, you pay for the, literally if I paid for it at the end of August, the 31st, I'd have to pay for that entire month of August. So we threw it on the private land for a day, and when I did that, the police were here, which was insane, but it was all good, it was all good. So yeah, we've had our 1 day of waiting for September, and now it's September 1st, 2024. We have a new car to play with, and let's see what she looks like. I did actually clean one of the marks off the rear bumper yesterday, as you can see the before here and the after here, and that was literally with a Grimex cloth. So you know, I keep saying how good they are. What else did I do? Not a lot yesterday. There's quite a bit of paintwork that wants looking at. I did buy a touch-up stick in candy white, which is the proper Volkswagen Audi candy white. The Skoda's basically a Volkswagen. It's a Volkswagen Polo. It's a Audi A1. It's a Seat Ibiza. And the engine that was thrown into these, I believe, was designed just for the Fabia, and then they were passed on to everything else. So it's the HTP, the High Torque Performance. 1.2 petrol, 3-cylinder, which I haven't managed to hear yet properly because no fuel. But we've got all the polishing things. We're going to clean it all up. Probably not completely today, because we need to get to Malvern for 12. I've got a headlight restorer kit, but there's bits in there like the drill attachment for the polisher and all these other things, which will come in handy for the touching up the paint stuff. Some Turtle Wax Original for £2.99 from a guy, Beacon Car Parts. But yeah, it looks like some of his stock's been there for about 20 years. This is a 2013 bottle of Turtle Wax, but it's the 2013 prices of £2.99, so you can't complain. And yeah, a bunch of car mats from Aldi for £6 for the set. So that's what I've got so far. Obviously I've got the oil to throw in as well, but we'll go from there, do the easy bits, and then give it a run to Malvern, which is about a 100-mile round trip, and we'll see how we go. I think it's a fine runner. It's got 83,000 on it, which isn't a lot. Service history is all the way up to 2022, and since then it has done 15,000 miles. So I don't know if the oil has been changed since. It's not got a fat load of oil in it, so that's why I'm doing this today. Just going to drain it and throw a new bottle in, and then sort the filter tomorrow, because timing chains on these, if you get bad oil or not enough oil, they're liable to just fuck up real quick. So let's get that sorted. So part of the buying deal was a new key for it, because the old one was pretty battered, so that's cool. New key that works fine. Going to have a quick look and show you the engine. So it's definitely something that I can work on. If you look there, there's the 1.2 HTP petrol 3-cylinder. Oil filter just here, so that's cool, and that'll be done probably tomorrow. But I mean, I'm just going to drain it all out today and throw a new bottle in, because I don't know what's in it currently, so you want it to match to a point. So yeah, going to jack it up, pop the sump out, do the drainy thing again, and then top, obviously. I mean, you know how this works. Annoyingly, the sump is a Torx set I'm going to need, so I can't drop the oil out today, because I don't have that, because I only own old vehicles that haven't had any of this. So that's something to buy today at the Festival of Transport, I guess. But so in that case, I'm just going to top up the oil with some slightly my half open bottle, because there's enough in there to do it. And then tomorrow I'll drain the lot out properly. The old water in the engine check. Have we got any cappuccino latte in the top here? No. Oh, we can't even get my funnel in. I just got my funnel. So it's already got a little calmer downer to get your oil in, so that's fine, isn't it? There we go, half a tank, 30 quid. We're oiled up, we've got screen wash, the fans are working, and now I can open it up because, yeah, there was 000 fuel in this, so I didn't want to rag it and fill the fucking, what is it, injectors with shit. I don't think this is carb, I'm not too sure. But yeah, we're taxed, which is sweet. £160 for 12 months, which isn't great, but weirdly, the diesels, or the 1.2 green lines, they're either free on tax or 20 quid. Whereas the petrol, which is allowed to go into your city centre, is £160. Go figure. But, you know, we save £8 every time we go to town now, so aren't we lucky? But like I said, the whole point in this car and buying it was purely having a 5-seater, well, a 5-doorer, ready for the kiddo, because so far we've been using the van to get the baby around, which is fine, but sometimes for those shorter trips a 1.9 diesel lump isn't the best option. So a 1.2 petrol should hopefully give us some just more sensible options, really. So yeah, I'm going to give it a quick go down. Wow, it's actually quite pokey if this speedo isn't lying. I mean, we're just doing 40. That was very effortless, barely revving at all. So we're doing 40 in 4th. Feels like I could do this in 3rd. I feel held back to even use 5th for this, which in the KA, which in my van, you'd definitely be in 5th gear for 40. So we're going to say this is a torquey little engine for what it is. I will do some videos on the history of the Fabia, because that's what I tend to do with things that I own. I like to dive in on what they're all about. But the great thing is, I mean, I used to work for a company that solely used Volkswagen vans, and this is basically the same feeling as a Caddy, and I love the Caddy. And the other cool thing, oh brilliant, well done, a Volkswagen Polo right there. That's what this car gave its engine to a point where the Fabia became such a big seller that people, in a conspiracy way, say they ruined this car come the Mark III at some point in the Mark II. So they could boost Volkswagen sales again, because these sold so well. But I don't know what the truth of the matter is there. But yeah, this barely wants to be in 5th. It's very floaty there. So we'll go back to 4th. How bizarre. Yeah, great for nipping around already. It definitely feels like a new car compared to everything I've owned, in the kind of driving style and how everything's a bit airy and light, and also, I don't know what you'd call it. Definitely, you'd say refined, but I don't think so, because I like the feeling of deep, heavy pedals and everything being spring-loaded and rusty, and, you know. So this definitely feels fresh. The suspension's really nice so far. This is a very potholey road, and I've not felt anything. I do know that there's a dust cover on one of the back shock absorbers that needs replacing, because that's come away, and now you can see like the metal struts, which eventually will get covered in shit, and eventually will break the seal, and eventually will leak. So need to get that sorted. MOT on this isn't up until April, the end of April, so not too bad. We've got a good 6 months anyway, so I really should have put 6 months tax on it and just hope for the best. But I put a year on, got it done. I've paid the year out for insurance. I've just got it all out the way because I'm very tight, and I hate seeing money just leave my account. So if I let it all leave at once, I'll forget about all this in a month's time. Yeah, it's nice. I think maybe I should use first for a bit longer, but that's my driving style. Yeah, this is nice. I mean, it's not pulling to any side. The steering's nice and true. I've never had a car with straight steering, so that's bloody something. Steering's very light but responsive enough. I'm looking forward to throwing this round the lanes in Malvern a bit later, hoping the rain holds off, because yeah, we've got to go to the Festival of Transport and Auto Jumble. And we've got a weather warning in the Midlands between last night and 9 o'clock tonight for thunderstorms and a 30% chance of rain. So hoping that doesn't happen. Oh yeah, this is really nice. Brakes are lovely. No noises, no knocks. Be nice to sit on the roof for a bit just so I can listen to the engine a bit more. The fan's really nice. I have put in a cherry Mighty Oak, which is smelling lovely too. But yeah, I can't complain so far. We're hoping for returns of 45 to 50 miles per gallon combined, hopefully a little bit better on the motorway. Apparently if you keep this thing below kind of 65, that's where the MPGs live. Above that, it does start to drink if you're driving at 75, 80, which isn't my style anyway. I'm never in a rush to get anywhere, to be honest. Leave early, save money. So yeah, just get used to how deep the clutch is, which I do like that. I usually drive in steel toe cap boots, so I like a bit of space. The other major win about this car, which the T6 has even got rid of now, is there's somewhere to put your bloody foot next to the clutch. There's a really nicely placed step. Now the next thing I want to test is how good does that step sound as a bass drum when I'm drumming along. Because my favourite bass drum so far has been the T5. But yeah, the T6s have dropped the step completely, and now there's nowhere to put your foot because there's such a massive middle column that yeah, there's nowhere for you to chill, which is bizarre. But this is really nicely placed. It's a size 9, which is perfect. It does want to fly, like it's probably quite a struggle to stick up 30 in this. For now, obviously I'll get used to it. Bloody hell, I am really liking it. The proof's in the pudding, really, in the longevity of it. I've done so much Googling of how reliable are these engines, what's a high mileage engine, and I've seen one for sale. It was a 2008 with 245,000 on it, and that was still the 1.2 petrol HTP. So they're capable. Who knows how many timing belt, timing chain changes it had, but you know, that's something I plan to stay on top of anyway and hopefully do myself. The kits are about £200, I think, so it's not completely ridiculous. Doing the cam belt and water pump on the van, well, at least paying someone to do it, was looking at 500 quid-ish, which I think is a bit overstepping. Fabia Club, I wonder if Fabia owners nod to each other, because I'm going to start that shit. I'm not sure where everyone said the sweet rev range is on this, about, well, 3,000. But yeah, looking forward to getting her on the motorway. Haven't decided on a name for the car yet. We've obviously got Hugo and Joan and Jock the bike. Pixie's leaving us. But so far, yeah, I think maybe we'll wait for today's journey and see if we get a name pop up on the journey, because that can happen. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Let's keep her in second. Does she fly? Yes. But yeah, sounds really nice as well. Quite a grunty kind of V6 sound, but it's a 3-cylinder, so you're getting half of that. But yeah, it sounds really nice. I think these kind of 3-pot engines were happening due to, I mean, I think my dad said he had a Daewoo Matiz that was a 3-pot, so it's not a completely new thing. Definitely happening since the millennium in these kind of small city cars. I'm a fan of them already. I like it. Really cool sound, really talky and nice. I've saved a video. We're just coming up to Erdington High Street. I'm not going to drive down it. We're just at the top. At the oldest roundabout in the world, so they say, which is 6 ways. There's 5 ways now. But yeah, I've got a video lined up to watch later of some guy doing an 1 and 10-minute documentary of Erdington High Street, The Truth, which should be funny because it's crackhead central, spice central, pisshead central. It's just not good news. It's definitely gone downhill. It used to be a posh area, don't you know? It was like the in-between place between Birmingham City Centre and Sutton Coldfield. And yeah, Now it's just, I mean, the high street shit. The area, I don't have a bad time of it, never had trouble. But you do read about it, of course you do, and you see some bad things. But myself, incredibly lucky, I guess. Bloody hell, swang. Yeah, it's nice. A little bit underpowered in third now, I believe. Well, maybe the KA would just be making more noise at this point. But, yeah, this is fine. Steering wheel could be straighter, but it's not pulling, so that's something. Maybe it's just jumped a couple of teeth in its ears. But does anyone have a straight steering wheel? Get in the comments and let me know, is your steering wheel actually square? I mean, it's obviously a circle, I hope, but is it square with everything else when you've got your wheels straight? Because the van's not, the KA kind of was actually, but this looks like it's lost its way a little bit. We'll see if it moves when we pull away. But it's nice, it's actually telescopic and up and down adjustment on the seats. The driver's seat has adjustment to go up, down and forward and back, which, you know, in these smaller cars is usually not a thing. So I feel like I'm sat much higher. I mean, there's a caddy behind me, and I don't know how I can tell it feels the same in here, but it's definitely the same kind of seating position. I'm 6'4", and getting in the KA was definitely a put your leg in and sliding job. And I've got the worst back in the world sometimes, so it's not been particularly pleasant. But this is a step in and get in, and it's very much appropriate for my height, I believe. So hopefully that will be better for my back in the long run. But wow, yeah, this is nice. No complaints. Is the radio good?
Designer handbags, purses, clothes and sunglasses.
It's alright, it's just got aux and radio, no fucking about, no Bluetooth. So yeah, again, this is why I bought the car. Simplicity. And if anything goes wrong, there's a chance I can fix it. And that's what I'm all about. I don't want to be stuck taking it to specialists and garages and electricians and programmers. And this does have you can remap these and tell it to do things and what else. And I think this has been told not to do the steering belt, the seat belt warning, because it has that audible warning. That seems to have been turned off. I'm not sure if these have EGRs or anything like that, but loads of things would just be turned off to suit you. But yeah, the ultimate test is, what is the MPG going to be? Because I'm all about efficiency. Yeah, it's fine, absolutely fine. Sounds a bit like a diesel, but not in a bad way, in a kind of mechanical, I've got a motor in me way. I do like hearing it. You get people in the reviews of these, I mean, they've been around like almost 15 years, saying they're a bit road noisy, especially past 60, which I will confirm later. But yeah, I like hearing the engine. Isn't that half the fun? I mean, we're moving into EV world. If everyone wanted silent engines, no one would be complaining about the fact we're going into EV world. But I like a bit of... So yeah, that's my review so far. Coming up, Malvern Festival of Transport. 55 miles in, all good, and the petrol gauge hasn't moved yet. Don't know if it's broken. Don't know if this is just amazing on fuel. But we'll find out. Haven't heard the just the fan kicking yet, but I never have on the van either, so I don't know when that thing happens. But hey, good times. So here we are at the Malvern Festival of Transport, and you can see all the nice pre-60s stuff here. It was a lot quieter than some of the other ones that we visited in the past. I think the weather put a lot of people off because we were promised thunderstorms and there was warnings, and yeah, it did happen, but it was about 3:30 in the afternoon when this had already finished. I'm sorry, I had to sneeze, but here's some information on this lovely little thing, an Austin A.D. Thomas. Very cool. I was quite impressed with this. I don't know if it was a working temperature gauge on the front there, but you'll see it in a minute. Nice and simple, just smelled like brand new paint, the whole thing. But look at this, it was like a temperature gauge that you could see on the end of your engine, which I think makes sense. Anyway, we got these old Land Rovers knocking about, which were lovely. Now, I was looking at these because I grew up in one of these, but didn't live in it, but we used it as a car to get to places. And at the same time, these old Maestros, my best friend's dad drove one of these too, and would drop us to Beavers and Cubs and Scouts and all that stuff. And yeah, I just didn't realise how old the car was at the time. I think his was a little bit newer, because this was probably going into the end of the late 90s. But I got on about putting Evie in the back, well, in the front of a Volkswagen T4 as her first baby car. But this, I believe, is what I grew up in. And we do have videos somewhere of Dad taking us, me and my sister, in the back on those little benchy kind of things. I don't know if we had belts, maybe. To like local hill climbs. I think when Merry Hill was being built, I'm not too sure where it was. But we're just screaming our heads off in the back. But I remember playing with all the little rubber switches and bits, which are like for the diff and all the kind of suspension things. I remember flicking them around as a kid. Which is potentially my earliest memory. Bizarre. I'm afraid I'm not the guy to name that's a Lotus, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know a fat lot about all the cars in the world, but there was some lovely things. I know there was well, that's an MX-5. Let's start there. Not too sure, could be wrong, could be an MX-2. Is that a Javelin? I don't know. Is it a copy of something else? Probably. Get in the comments if you recognise any of these nice things. But there you go. Is that a thingy bob? Yep. A W Subaru Impreza? I don't know. What we got here? I don't know. Nice though. I mean, yeah, it's all about, I just appreciate the old designs and more the interiors. I think they're beautiful things. What's that, an X Series? No, an EJ Jag? Here's a Morris Minor, we recognise them, don't we? And this one sounded particularly quiet, and I think that was a new colour. I don't think that was a blue that happened in real life at the time. We got the Mondeo from the Millennium. I remember the advert when they used to say it was the safest car in the world, and there was that girl in her garage who was sleeping in it instead of in a bedroom, and her dad found her in there. Yep, we got that old, is that a Rover Metro? Not sure what this is, but that's got to be a roller, isn't it? It's nice though. And more Jag action. Was that E series? EJ type? Can't remember. XJ series. Yeah, I know someone in school had one. Well, their mum did anyway. And lovely. I don't think I saw any Morgans though. And Morgan are based in Malvern down the road, but I don't think I saw any. Unless that was one, I know I'm just chatting absolute waffles. But yeah, if you're enjoying this little parade, then I'm happy for you. But yeah, this was the end of the day basically. It got to 3 o'clock, the whole thing was closing down, so we just decided to stand at the back gate and watch everything come out. Nice old Capri there you go. We had one of those as a kid too. Definitely remember being dropped to dance lessons to learn the Paso Doble as a 4-year-old maybe. But yeah, it was nice. Definitely a small turnout this year. Usually they used to do this special bit where it was like the best in show for the minis, like just for minis. And there were only 6 on site. He even like let the Metros turn up in like with them just to bulk it out a bit. And the guy who was doing the announcing just didn't sound too impressed with the lack of turnout really. But again, I just think it was the weather that scared a lot of people off, because they don't want to put their pride and joys out in the rain and then have to drive home in the slippiness from Malvern anyway, you know, when they don't have to. But that was cool. Look at this. That's nice. And yeah, this is me trying to tell my baby to look, but she slept through the whole thing, so I'm going to show her this when she's older and say, look, you did see them, you've been there. Bless her. What a beautiful girl. And here we go, some more lovely motors. Triumph. Yeah. So now I'll learn my stuff. Quiz me on some 90s cars. That's where I was. And I know there's people on YouTube who do know what they're talking about. And there's a guy who, if you just search for the Festival of Transport at Malvern, there's a bloke who went last year and the year before and possibly this year who knows absolutely everything about these cars. So go and watch that if you want some actual information. But thanks for coming anyway. I hope you've enjoyed the video. The Skoda's a good laugh, and hopefully more lovely videos to come regarding that car. But thanks. Brummy Wonders out.